Step 1, we need to understand what Ray Dalio meant by the Holy Grail. Here we go. So I put a red box right up there. And then we're going to go through the y-axis, the vertical axis first. This is the vertical axis, all right? Now, on the vertical axis, it is telling us the annual portfolio standard deviation, the change of your portfolio, whether it will be extremely volatile, like 10% up, 10% down, 20% up, 20% down, and so on. And on the x-axis, then what you have over here is called the number of assets or alphas in your portfolio. All right. Now, he loves to preach about the number 15. So Ray Dalio, his perfect portfolio, or what we call the Holy Grail portfolio, is to have about 15 stocks inside. Okay? So we start with this concept. And then we go and look at this column here that says return to risk ratio. All right? What is your return versus the risk? Of course, you want the number as high as possible. So that's the reason why as I go down, it is increasing, ascending. All right? Ascending in the number. Then the second column says here, probability of losing money in a given year. Here is a very high, and start with a descending number, start from 40, drop to 39, and then finally at the bottom here, it actually falls to 1%. Wow. Okay? So what exactly is this whole concept of the Holy Grail? It starts from here. Here we go. Follow with me right now. I will start with this flashing point right there. You will see something flashing on the left-hand side on the yellow line chart. So it says over here, if you have a portfolio whereby the stocks in your portfolio, they are like 60% correlated, then what you're going to have is a very, very high standard deviation. The volatility of your portfolio, like go fluctuation, big up, big down, and all that. But in an ideal, perfect Holy Grail portfolio, he says that what you should do is to make sure all of your stocks are really 0% correlated to each other. Then your fluctuation will drop to less than 3%. So the starting point is to make sure your fluctuation is really very low, and then your upside can be unlimited. All right, so that is the concept behind what Ray Dalio is talking about right here, called the Holy Grail portfolio. Okay, so I take a step back, let you absorb, think through. Then the question is this: how do we put this into practice? Right, so we got our engineers together and say, hey, I want to put this on our platform such that all of our students can, over time, begin to build their perfect portfolio, which is unique to you. All right? So what we have done together as a team is this. Here we go. Dun, 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 dun. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm really, really excited to present to you the Spiking Holy Grail. 3, 2, 1, check this out. And this is found by going to your wealth management system, hamburger menu, and then you go to trade, which is SALT. You should be very familiar by now. Go to trade, followed by Spiking Holy Grail. Okay? You do that right now on your desktop. Don't do it on your mobile phone. Do it on your desktop, all right? And once you do that, you arrive at here. Check this out. Ding. So I did the explanation right at the top paragraph right up there, and we give credit where it's due. The Spiking Holy Grail takes the foundational principles of Ray Dalio's. Ray Dalio's call it the Holy Grail of investing, and fine-tunes it for equity investment, offering a nuanced and targeted approach. Starting with a base of 11 top-performing stocks from each of the industry sector, the strategy diversifies across the market to minimize sector-specific risk. An additional 5 buffer stocks are added for extra safety and growth potential. These 16 carefully chosen equities form the core of the portfolio. All right. So, step 1. Here we go. You will have your 11 sectors right up here, all the way until here. And you cannot change this. There are only 11 sectors in the stock market, namely technology, financial services, communication services, healthcare, consumer cyclical, consumer defensive, energy, industrials, real estate, utilities, and basic materials. That 11 you can't change. So what we're going to do among these 11 is, take for example, right up here under technology. All right? Go and click under this space here called select company or ticker. And straight away will tell you which are the common technology stocks. Now, if Apple is under technology, you can't find Apple in the other 10 sectors anymore. It's very, very well organized. All right? And for today's demonstration, why Apple must be in your portfolio goes without a doubt, because this stock itself occupies 50% of Warren Buffett's portfolio. It's the number 1 stock. 50%. So the whole myth about diversification and spreading out of your risk is all nonsense. You take a look at the portfolio, it's concentrated. One stock, 50%. And that's Warren Buffett for you, all right? So you kind of start to rethink, okay, teacher, when you show us the 16 stocks, the Spiking Holy Grail, that means among the 16 stocks, we are not going to equally distribute it. That's correct. You're not going to like 100% divide by 16 to get the exact number. No, the secret recipe is among the 16 stocks, some of which will be occupying 20% of a portfolio, some of which will be occupying 1% of a portfolio, different ingredients. That's like preparing a dish. The secret recipe is the calibration of the weightage that makes the perfect meal. It is likewise applicable in our case right here. First of all, you need to know which are your 16 stocks. Then you have to determine, if I want to put Apple in the technology, and then I also have to select, is Apple kind of this stock, which of the 4 quadrants will it fall into? Is it stagflation? Is it in a booming economy? Is it recessionary? Is it Goldilocks? That's where like not left, not right, somewhere in the middle. Which one does it fall under, all right? So to me, Apple will do damn well in a booming economy where everybody got extra cash, everybody will renew, buy the next upgrade of the iPhone version, just keep buying like crazy. That's the part, all right? So I will put a note right there. So here we go. This is Warren Buffett's number 1 stock. That's it. And after you key in, please make sure you always click the save changes, all right? Just make sure you click the save changes or not the system will forget about it. So I selected one right here. And let me go through the 11 sectors first, so make sure you are very, very clear what to do. So we're done right now. For technology, we are done already. And our job over the next 16 cozy live trading is to keep updating you what has changed in each of the sectors. So I've done this part right here. Then you have financial services, communication services, healthcare, and so on, right? So there's 11 sectors first. So we have to resolve the 11 sectors first. Then we come up with additional 5 more what we call the buffer stocks. Look right over here. This is buffer 1, buffer 2, 3, 4, 5. All right? So 11 plus 5 equals 16. That's how we have 16 stocks in the portfolio of the Spiking Holy Grail. Okay? Now the buffer, let me explain, means that stock can come from any sector. Already thought of my mind, I'm thinking about NVIDIA to be my buffer number 1. ARMS to be my buffer number 2 and so on, but maybe I want to tear these two guys apart, or just focus on one. That's a decision we'll make next Thursday, all right, when we go for the ARMS IPO. But meanwhile, it gives us sufficient room for us to maneuver what would be our best 16 stocks here, okay? Now with this backdrop, it is still not complete. Because why? Scroll down. Once we selected among the 4 quadrants, we have to decide, of all these 16 stocks, are they fitting into the 4 quadrants of the economy? So right here on the vertical line, let me explain to you right now. This is your y-axis, pointing up. It points to the word inflation. All right? And then you have your x-axis, horizontal, pointing left to right. It points to growth. So when I'm looking at the top right-hand quadrant, the green quadrant box, right here, and it's telling us it's booming, means what? This quadrant belongs to a growing economy with rising inflation, right? Growing economy with rising inflation means the economy is booming at the moment. So the explanation is found at the bottom. Rising growth, rising inflation, this is typically a phase of a booming economy. Both growth and inflation are increasing, and assets that benefit from these conditions, like stocks, usually perform well. However, too much inflation can lead to central banks raising interest rates to cool down the economy. So Apple was experiencing this boom until we were hit with the first interest rate hike. All right, and then all the rules changed. Right now we're coming back to normalcy back again. By the middle of 2024, everything will be back to normal already. I'll be explaining the concept about that very soon, all right? So that's how you look at it. So what I've done just now, I selected Apple in technology sector, and I have to decide among the 4 quadrants, is it booming, recessionary, stagflation, or not left, not right, Goldilocks? Once I selected that, once I've done this part here and I click on save, I scroll down, the system will automatically plug in for you right here. Nice. All right, it will automatically plug in for you right here. Very, very beautiful. All right. And because, why are we doing this? You scroll down. Because I want you to take note and remember, this whole purpose of the Spiking Holy Grail, it was inspired by Ray Dalio, who was teaching me at masterclass.com, as well as in the book Principles, his concept of a Holy Grail. But he doesn't tell us how he go about operationalizing it to put into action. I done that step with my engineers to put into action for all of you. How many of you enjoyed this so far? I'm really proud of my engineers. You know, we did this in like lightning fast speed, fast and furious. I want to get it out. Every time I meet you for the Cozy Live Trading, you have been updated. How many of you realize that every time you meet me for Cozy Live Trading, there's some updates going on? With your hands right now. Hello. And it's not easy. We only meet each other a distance of 2 weeks apart, and we are producing work all the time because we are thinking ahead. Thinking ahead of what? We are going to go back to equilibrium. Some of you missed the earlier part of the Cozy Live Trading where we talk about concept of equilibrium. S&P 500 will go back to the all-time high January 2022. Bam! When we hit that, we are back to equilibrium. Everything goes back to normal. It's so easy to trade. That's the reason why we are getting ready for that moment. All right? So coming back here, not done yet. I'm going to demonstrate to you one buffer stock. Right now, hot. Obviously, it's a NVIDIA, and it's really, really hot. I'm just using NVIDIA to demonstrate. It doesn't mean NVIDIA is going to be my buffer one, all right? Whether it's NVIDIA or ARM, we'll make the decision in the next Cozy Live trading after the ARMS IPO. We will know the answer, all right? So let me just demonstrate here first. Let's say I want to put NVIDIA into my buffer one. And NVIDIA is like, in whatever economy, everybody needs semiconductor chips. It's like Goldilocks. So this is the number $1 trillion market cap semiconductor company in the world. Right? So I type my reasons, go up there, remember, click on save changes, bang, I save it, and then I scroll down, and there you go. It enters nicely into the quadrant here. So in a perfect scenario, what you're going to see is this. Please watch. We have total 16 stocks in the Holy Grail, and our job is to fit in nicely to this extent, all right? That means you go like this, and then you go like this, 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 and finally you have some more below here. Oops, hang on a minute, one more time. One more below here, and so this will be the ideal portfolio for any kind of surprises in the marketplace. And typically, when we finish building out the 16 stocks, fitted exactly into the 4 quadrant, you are untouchable. But what is the difference? I'm going to switch back right now. You think about it. What is the secret recipe in this 4 quadrant comprising of 16 stocks? That means we have a perfect fit. 4 stocks in each of the macro environment, whether it's booming, stagflation, recessionary, or Goldilocks. Perfect fit. In this perfect fit, you are untouchable. But what is the key difference? What is the key difference? Let me type out this question right here. Key difference. The key difference, I want you to think about it. What is the key difference? What's the major distinguished difference in the 4 quadrant? And I'm going to tell you slowly and you absorb it. The key difference lies in the weightage of each stock that will add up to 100% of your cash. So next time when we meet 3 weeks later in our Cozy Live trading, what you're going to see on this same page is this. Step 1, I'll ask you, how much money you're going to set aside to build your Spiking Holy Grail portfolio? Take, for example, you say, teacher, I'm going to set aside $100,000. Fine. Then every time you key in a stock into each sector, I will ask you, how much money you put in for the stock? So let's say stock number 1, you put in 10,000. Stock number 2, you put in 50,000. Stock number 3, you put in 100,000. And once you key in the dollar value, the system will automatically calculate for you, okay, together does it add up to 100% of your $100,000? Then by the time you finish, you use up every single dollar of your $100,000, and the key difference lies in the weightage of each stock. So I can tell you right now, Warren Buffett became so rich because 50% of his money invested into one stock called Apple. That's it. That is his weightage. What is our weightage? That will be our secret recipe right here. And that's why in a very disciplined approach over time, you will calibrate. Maybe at the beginning, Apple is occupying 5%. Over time, increase to 15%. And then your NVIDIA at the beginning occupies 1%. Over time, increase to 5%. But all in, you add up to 100%. And you don't change that. Once you finish your 4 quadrant, you have fully deployed your 100,000. Then that's where you say, okay, I want to put in my next 100,000 or next $500,000 or next $1 million to continue to build on the 16 stocks. Or you can come up with the second set of your Holy Grail. So you have 16 stocks and another 16 stocks, 32 stocks under your portfolio. Warren Buffett has about 50 stocks under his portfolio. That's it. That's all he's been doing for the last 30 years.